But I gotta ask you about Kamala Harris. How you feel about her?
She's a piece of shit. I was in California. She lacked professional competence, and she worked on it by hiking up her hemline when she needed influence rather than researching.
Back to Cali, Cali, Cali. I'm going back to Cali.
I was out in California for 15 years doing my show when she was at her peak, and she had a reputation amongst the trial lawyers of being lazy. She just hike her skirt up and try to flirt, and she wasn't that good in the courtroom, if not pretty bad in the courtroom. So I'm not surprised at what she does. She's 60 years old, and I think listening to her word salad and the way she talks, I think she's got early onset dementia and also some problems with menopausal complications.
Okay, Judge Joe. Judge Joe is not the one, y'all. Okay, respect for the OG. What it do, Judge Joe? Okay, so we're following up my Kwame Brown review to The Art of Dialogue. Shout out to The Art of Dialogue. They have great interviews. So, I go for the big dogs, y'all. Okay, so they have Mr. Judge Joe Brown, who actually follows me on Twitter. Okay, and I follow him as well. So Mr. Judge Joe Brown is giving an interview. And so we're just taking little bits and pieces from it. But he is clowning Kamami because he knows Kamami. So Kamami, girl, we know you rode Mr. Willie Brown soul pole all the way up to the top, girl. Okay, you did what you had to do because they said you as dumb as a box of rocks, girl. You couldn't. Try again. Okay, so let's hear what our wonderful OG Judge Joe Brown. Now, Judge Joe Brown be going off. He's spitting facts, okay? So let's go ahead and hear Judge Joe Brown out because he is clowning Kamami, talking about her dementia, talking about menopause and stuff like, oh, Judge Joe, you going in. Okay, so you guys sit back and tune in and let's go. Make sure, y'all, I need you guys to hit that subscribe button if you have not subscribed to the channel already. Cali B Tv, y'all, come on. Become a part of my Caribbean family, okay? Okay, let's go.
Today is going to be tomorrow, so since it's going to be tomorrow, today we have tomorrow, but they cannot cognate getting all the way through it, which is why she's famous for this word salad garbage, and she doesn't make a bit of sense. I think since she's only 60, she's...
Actually, it's called tether babble. Okay? Tethers that just do a bunch of babbling and splaining. Okay, go ahead, Judge Joe.
On a worse track than Biden was. Biden is 20-some years older than her, and he has been senile for a long time. Now, about 5 or 6 years ago, when did they start ramping up to do this? 2019. Okay, I was saying Biden has been a failure his whole adult career, a second-rate, third-string player. He's in the game, so he wants to make a name for himself. I considered him for years urban trailer park trash, and he's a crook. He's a third stringer. Now, what I said he was going to do is he probably wants to claim fame for being the first person to see to it that a woman got to be president, and attorney general, and senator, and now she becomes black. But, I met her daddy, fine gentleman, Professor Harris. And the problem with her being black is Professor Harris says he's Caucasian, mixed Irish and Hindu.
Okay, you guys, listen up. Brother Judge Joe Brown is about to go in and give you guys the actual and the factual details of Miss Kamala Harris. Okay, I'm going to be cool. Kamala Harris, however you pronounce it. Her true so-called black blood. Let's go, Judge Joe Brown. Break it down for us, sir.
He doesn't have any black ancestors, but his Irish ancestors owned a lot of slaves in Jamaica and had them to work on plantation. So if mama is on the birth certificate listed as a Caucasian Daddy says he's a Caucasian Hindu and has no black ancestors. How did she get to be black? Now, a little side story. When I had my show, let's say this has been 26 years ago, I had two beautiful women that I thought were sisters on the show. And they laughed one time when we all went to a happy hour and said, "You think we're black, don't you?" "Yeah, aren't you?" "No, we're Hindu." One of them said, "My mother's a Hindu Brahmin caste, and my father was Hindu warrior caste. He took an oath to the family to protect her. They fell in love, eloped, and now we got a death warrant on us. We can't go back to India." So, yeah, and then they gave me two books. The guys were Hindu, and they were very dark, but they cut their hair off close, grew beards, and started dressing and acting black, and they got financial aid. One of them, I think, went through medical school.
Okay, here's another point that we were discussing, that a lot of these tethers come over here and cosplay as foundational Black American to get that benefit in order to, I guess, what is that, that when affirmative action was popping? I know that so-called dude that was running, the Swami guy that was running for president, he did one of those cosplaying things as well. Then they want to sit up here and SHIT on foundational Black Americans, want to wag their finger down in the faces of foundational Black Americans, but come over here cosplaying as black to get the benefits. This is what they do. This is what they do. So let's allow Judge Joe Brown to finish, hear him out completely so we can understand the exact breakdown of her so-called black blood.
That way, masquerading for being black, somebody else did it. So she went to Howard. And by the way, she told one big lie when she was talking about she got bust because of something Biden did when she was running against him. Well, the yearbook that she put out there that you can still get online from her high school in Canada shows she went from kindergarten through 12th grade in Canada, never went to school in the United States of America. She was born, by the way, in the same hospital that my ex-wife was born in, the same 12-month period, and my late mother-in-law was in fact a pediatric nurse in that hospital when Kamala was born. And the birth certificate that she has is interesting because the confusion comes from a mistake. On the birth certificate, it lists the mother's race as Caucasian, national origin India, and religion Hindu. For the father, it does not list national origin. It does not list religion. It does not list anything about that, but where it says race, they put national origin in Jamaica by mistake. Now, if you've ever been to Jamaica and you get over to St. Elizabeth Parish, you see all the high, bright, and white that live in Jamaica. So I've got a good friend retired from law enforcement. He has a white wife, blonde-haired, blue eyes, but she was born in Jamaica. Her parents were born in Jamaica. One's blonde and blue-eyed, the other one's red-haired and gray-eyed, and they happen to be related to the King of England because they are aristocrats in England, but they were born in Jamaica. So if you go over there, you see people from Hong Kong, Singapore, New Zealand, Australia, Kenya, South Africa, you name it. It's part of the British Commonwealth, and nobody needed a passport, and you could just go in and out. So it's not unusual. You're not black just because you're from Jamaica, and you have a whole lot of white people that never left, and their ancestors owned a lot of slaves. The Maroons went up into the hill country and got themselves free back in the 1840s, but you know, other than that, it is what it is in Jamaica. So just because you're from that country does not mean you are of the black race. So the problem is why don't you go get your daddy to give you an affidavit that you have a black ancestor? And since the only possible claim you have is through your great-grandmother, who he says was a Hindu house servant that just happens to be swarthy, where'd you get your blackness from? See, you're faking it again.
So her dad is Hindu? And the grandmother that she's always claiming is supposed to be this black Jamaican lady is Hindu as well. Because over in Hindu or the India, they darker than I am. They darker than Judge Joe Brown. They dark as hell. Talking about they Caucasian. Boy, bye. Ooh, y'all so pathetic talking about y'all Caucasian. Y'all want to be white so bad. All you darkies worldwide. Y'all want to be white so bad. You are so pathetic. Y'all are so pathetic. Go ahead and keep running up after Lucifer and wanting to be white. How pathetic. Okay, so let me let Judge Joe Brown go ahead and finish this out.
After 50 years of experience, the worst human beings you will ever find are career prosecutors. Something slimy about them. They are so turned off by humanity and everything else. They don't care. They're trying to win the game. It is just play to them. They don't give a damn.
And there you have it. Okay, you guys, thanks for tuning in to Cali B Tv. Before we leave, make sure if you are not subscribed to the channel, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Also, please hit the thumbs up. Give me a like. Become a part of my Calibians. Okay, y'all? Okay, so until the next time, we're out. Bye.